Hi, this is Hugo Venegas and I am right here in Bamboo. We are going to take a journey up the river to Yorkin, and this is the community that has invited us to come into their village and to be able to bring potable water. We have over here Cirilo, who is our captain, but also he is the one who is coordinating the local efforts to bring the water. This is the Talita River, and we're going to take the Talita River all the way down for about a half a mile, and then from the Talita River we'll take the Yorkin River and we will go by the border with Panama, right there on the border, and it will take us about an hour and 20 minutes to get up to the village of Yorkin, and that's where we're going to have our tea. So follow along and we will take you on a journey upstream the river all the way to the village of Yorkin. Minutes, but welcome to the beautiful village of Yorkin, right here in the heart of the Costa Rican jungle.
Pura vida.
Oh, ¿cómo está? Pura vida.
Nos falta más sauna porque con este estamos haciendo uno, ya le han echado uno.
Good morning! We are here right now in Yorkin at Stibraupa, the Women's Association, and we're getting ready to take a hike up in the mountains, and we're gonna measure how much piping we need. And here we have our architect with his measuring device, and we have the president of the Water Association here in Yorkin, and then we have one of the other board members, and we have Ibo's son, who is a marine biologist. And this is Pastor Hugo. We're delighted that you can follow us all the way up to the jungle. We're going to see where the pipe is going to be coming down, crossing over the river, and what are the two options that we have in order to bring potable water to this community. So I invite you, come along, follow us into this journey of bringing water into the Yorkin village. Crosses the School River. There was a flood and the water level came all the way up, washed the whole pipe system away. So right now they have a provisional PVC system, but with the heat and the sun it becomes easily damaged. So one of the reasons why they want to rebuild the system is they do not want to wait for a catastrophic breakdown of the pipe or a flood, which will leave the village without water. We're right now close to the area where the water comes down from the mountains and then the piping comes through here. But part of the problem with the water system was a tragic thing that happened a few years ago, and I'm going to ask one of the men to tell us exactly what happened to us behind us right now. ¿Qué fue lo que pasó con el sistema de agua que estamos viendo? ¿Cuándo sucedió y qué fue la gravedad del asunto?
Bueno, resulta que había mucha agua, mucha lluvia y los ríos se crecieron y se desbordó esta parte que tenemos aquí al frente y se llevó parte de la tubería que está aquí.
He said that it rained a lot, and then there was a huge flood, and the rivers backed into all this area, and it washed the side of the mountain, and it came right down and buried the whole piping system, destroying it. And in fact, right down there, there is a piece of the pipe that is busted, and every time they try to reconnect it, the earth keeps shifting and therefore disaligning the pipe and creating an obstacle in the flow of the water down to the village. Y cuando sucedió eso, ¿por cuánto tiempo permanecieron sin agua?
Un mes, de ahí la comunidad se organizó y se pusieron las tuberías.
He said that when the flood came, they were without water for a whole month, and then the whole village came together. Everyone started to work to piece the piping system together in order to get water. We spoke to a lady yesterday who spoke about her son getting sick because they did not have water in the village. So what they have right now is a temporary, patchwork, and they are just realizing that if another flood comes or if there is another problem, the village will be without water again. Okay, this is the source of where the water comes. It comes from down in the mountains, but here is a water spring, a natural water spring. The problem was that when the flood came, it destroyed a roof and a protection area for the water to be safe from contaminants. So what we need to do is to rebuild a box around here with a roof in order to keep the water protected. If you come on up here with the camera, you will notice that there are fish. There is fish swimming in the water. And there is the pipe that collects the water. So that's a problem. There is not a lot of pollution. The water is still safe, but it needs a little bit of a treatment in order to make it very safe for the people to drink. The other thing that we'll do, according to the EMI engineers, is that we have to cut a hole, a trench on the back of this mountain here, so that when rain and water comes off the mountain, it washes around the box. And we do not want human or animal contaminants to filter into the water. So the best thing that we can do is to protect the water here and then try to redo the piping so that the water can get down to the village.
2, 3. Pastor Hugo, can you tell us how your faith was challenged 1 year ago when you came here for the first time?
Well, the story about how I got involved in this project was Eliodoro, who is one of the leaders in the community, took me on a hike into the village, and when I got there he said, we need your help with something. I thought they needed a Bible study or they needed some type of a religious service, and then they took us on a hike all the way to the jungle, and then Eliodoro stood right there and he pointed towards the water system and he said, we need a new water system for the village. Can you help us? I thought it was a joke, and he was dead serious. He said, no, we need a new water system. And I remember feeling inside of me, God, what am I doing here? I don't know anything about water systems. I'm not an engineer. I am a pastor. I am a theologian. I don't know anything about this. And I felt that God challenged me and said, I can do a lot with very few things in my hands. What do you have to make yourself available to help these people? And then the Spirit of God brought the story of Jesus feeding the multitudes, the 5,000. And a little boy was there with a basket with a few fish and 5 loaves of bread. And Jesus was handed this into his hand, and he blessed it and he multiplied the bread and the fish to feed all the multitudes. And then there was leftovers. So I felt God said, give me whatever you have and I will challenge. I will bless it, I will multiply it, And I said, well, I have a brother who's an environmentalist. I've got a couple of crazy people at Colorado Community Church who may want to do it. And that's how this process started. And right now, we have an architect here, we have a biologist, and we're just here trying to figure out how we can partner and get the resources in order to help these people that live in this remote area close to the border with Panama, to provide them with a water system. So that's the story, and that's how my faith was challenged in order to help these people to get something that I don't feel that I am very capable and very qualified to help them with.